The B.O.N.E.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it, dude.
It's 11/11.
Happy Veterans Day, by the way,
Happy Veterans Day.
to all those that served. We appreciate your service. We really
Thank
do.
you. Thank you for your service.
What a week,
What a week.
dude. I had Tuesday pre-interview, interview. Then I have tomorrow a full info session and interview, all in 1 week. Ending of last week, I had an info session on Friday. So, like, my life has just been revolving around PT lately.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got sucked in, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. So many moving parts, I kind of forgot where I am. Came down with a cold.
Yeah,
The last time you saw me sick, sore throat.
a long
Oh
time.
my gosh. I'm feeling good now. Feeling good.
Well, they say that stress leaves you vulnerable to
Yeah.
inflammation,
Yeah.
sickness, illness, all that.
And I'm kind of seeing that. Being, of course, self-reflective, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that me being as stressed as I was kind of allowed whatever germs to invade my system. Because, like, I didn't even work out today. Like, that's legit
Wow.
when I don't even work out.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's serious when you don't work out. Me, dude? Well, one, I just want to appreciate your resiliency
Thank you.
for being here.
Thank you, of course.
Yeah. I mean, what a week it's
Come on.
been.
Yeah.
And you're still here. And that is incredible.
I mean, I'm going to cut you off, but who wouldn't want to have a conversation with their best friend when they're having a week like this?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect time in the week to have that conversation.
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
know?
I think it brought us back
It
to
did.
the root of everything and just having a genuine conversation again. It's bringing it full circle, you know?
Yeah, I think now you and I are both in a headspace of having a conversation for the sake of having a conversation
Yeah,
instead of having a conversation for the sake of a podcast.
exactly.
And I think
Exactly.
that is totally overlooked
Yeah,
by a lot of people, not just in entertainment, but like podcasting, filmmaking,
yeah.
anything.
You lose yourself. You lose the purpose.
Yourself.
And these are all drunk thoughts. Like, to be very honest, I was drunk at a party for my birthday, by the way,
21st.
21st.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And you sat me down, pulled me to the corner, like, we need to talk.
I'm a different breed when
Yeah.
it comes to that.
And I was like, yeah, you do. And we just had a conversation. And I got goosebumps. And I literally looked you in the eyes and said, this is what we were missing. This is what we got to bring it back to. And we're back.
We're back, and I just got chills.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
Actually chills.
Goosies. How you doing?
I think when you have such a stressful week, both eustress and distress. I just want to make that very clear. There's
Yeah.
two types of stress. There's eustress, which is good stress, or you perceive the stimuli in your external environment as beneficial for you, or distress, which is the stress that people often refer to as distress. But when you have a combination of both eustress and distress, there gets to a point where at the end of your week, in our case it's a Thursday, but you get to the end of your week and it's time for some self-reflection, you know? Time for some
Big time.
self-reflection. And I think tonight is a great night for that.
Yeah, 100%.
So my week
Tell me about it.
was absolutely absurd.
Was it?
It was absurd, dude. Yeah. I can start off by just talking about today. And like we already said, it's 11/11, so it's a very spiritual day for me, especially since my awakening on August 30th. Been very connected with myself today. Woke up best mood ever. Like August 30th, just woke up best mood ever.
Eyes open.
Open.
Ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like crazy dream. I don't even remember what it was, but the eyes opened and like they didn't open slowly. They shot open.
Yeah.
And I shot out of my bed.
Yeah.
So that's for starters. And it helps when you get up and you feel good. It really helps. Aside from that though, every moment from the time I got up to the time we're sitting here, I was super, super mindful of not only where I was, but who was in my surroundings and who was with me
Yeah.
and the conversations that I got to have. Notice how I said got to,
Mindset.
Oh, man.
Mindset.
Yeah. And I think when we're super present with not only our environment, but who's in our environment and who we have the opportunity to engage with every day, you get super, and I mean super personal. Super personal.
Now, was 11/11 just an excuse to be extra mindful today? Like, do you think you have these connections and these conversations every day, but you woke up today and you just were extremely present because it was 11/11?
I think that despite it being 11/11 or not, I still would have had an amazing day, but it's still nice to be like, it's because of 11/11. We always, everything happens for a reason. Well, now, like today, you can actually say that and actually think, oh, like this is the reason, you know? By the way, I saw 111, 222, and 333 all within 3 hours today.
That's intense. So those are essentially angel numbers, we like to call them. So it's seeing numbers in like a synchronicity pattern, and they have a deeper meaning, basically. So if you were to see 222 on the clock and you look up what does 222 mean, it kind of has a deeper meaning to it. But again, it comes with awareness. So I was thinking about this the other night. Like, even it comes to you when you're not looking, but at the same time, you have to be aware that there are these things floating around with a lot deeper meaning than you think.
Yeah.
So one of the like normal synchronicities I saw when you first mentioned what a synchronicity is was a license plate. So I was driving to school, and one of the license plates said PT.
Wow.
And at any other time, if I were to see that license plate, I wouldn't think anything of it. But because I knew what a synchronicity was in the back of my mind, it was like I was aware of it, and it was sick to see. It was like, okay, maybe the world is talking to me. The universe is speaking its language.
And maybe it wasn't at the same time, but you chose to see it that way.
I chose to perceive it.
And I think that's a big thing that audiences can take away is that the universe is always, and I mean always, talking to us. It's whether or not we want to see it or not, or whether or not we want to perceive it that way.
Feel it or listen to it.
Feel it or listen to it. We don't always have to be in tune.
Yeah.
But when we are, it is some of the most transcending experiences of all time.
Yeah, perspective. It all goes back to perspective.
Yeah. Like, what led you up to that moment? What happened in that moment? And how aware are you to reflect on that moment?
Ooh, I'm gonna use this as a segue.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I love this.
Sorry.
But we ended with motivation and preparation last week.
Okay.
And I heard you say self-awareness after the moment. And today we were having a conversation. So put all of motivation aside. We'll dive into motivation, intrinsic, extrinsic, blah, blah, blah. But I want to talk about preparation. And you said a powerful thing of how preparation isn't always necessarily pre. It's not always before the event. Well, right before the event. My apologies. Right before the event.
Right.
So let's just say I was having a conversation with Mason. You're on the mound, okay? You're pitching. You're doing well, you're doing bad, whatever the case may be. Coach takes you out, game ends. When does your preparation start for that next start? Or that next relief opportunity?
As you're walking off the mound.
Yeah, it does. Because you need a certain amount of self-awareness and you need to reflect on your performance. What you did good, what you did bad, how we could grow from this. And when it's fresh in your mind, when that performance is fresh in your mind, you take it in, you accept it. Okay. You make a game plan, you make a list, and that shoots it off. And that preparation, as you're walking off the mound, will continue throughout the week until it's your next opportunity to perform. Rather than getting off the mound, going home, eating a meal. Because I think, honestly, you're telling yourself lies sometimes.
100%, all the
Because
time.
when time's passed, you might perceive something differently. You're not feeling the same feelings you had when you were just stepping off that mound. So you might be lying to yourself, thinking, "Oh, I didn't do that bad," or "Oh, I don't need to fix this. This was normal. This is just how I perform." No, it's right after. So you feel in the moment what was right, what was wrong.
And I want to expand
Do it.
on
Please do it.
something, a very critical point that you made that not a lot of people understand. And when I say not a lot of people, I don't have numbers or statistics, but just from the greater awareness that I've seen in life.
Yeah.
You said the preparation, well, I answered your question by saying the preparation starts as you're walking off the mound, right? And you acknowledge that was the correct choice, and we both are in agreement that that is. Now, as that self-reflection is happening, you said what went well, right? And what didn't go well. However, or you said good and bad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So my expansion on what you just said was, or is going to be, a lot of people don't often lean into what went really well. We often criticize ourselves for everything and cherry pick what went bad, that we really don't give ourselves the credit that we deserve. And I say that
Pat on the
intentionally.
back.
Yeah. We deserve to focus on the good. And this goes back to 3 words: strengths-based approach.
Yes.
A strengths-based approach means that you are focusing on and you are diving into what went well, what went great today, what did you overcome today, what did you learn from today in a good way.
And you build on that.
And you build on that without necessarily trying to fix or stress or worry about the negative. And I think that right there can change the game for a lot of performers out there, not just baseball or any other sport. Just it goes across business and music and art and military. What went well today?
Yeah.
And lean into that.
Because, dude, it's so easy to get caught up on the negative.
Super easy.
And sometimes it's things you can't necessarily change or fix. So if you're focusing on the negatives and it's like, I need to fix this, and you're not making any progress, you're going to get in your own head.
Oh, 100%.
So that perceived distress is going to be even higher. But rather than taking that approach, do look at the pros and your strengths. And that, I'm hoping 50% of the time, is something you could progress at, and those negatives will hopefully weed their way out. Is that making sense?
Yeah, because you're an athlete, or that you're like an actual performer.
Yeah.
Like the things start to correct themselves.
Yeah.
Without even you knowing it. Like by focusing on the great things that you did, the things that served you well in your performance, and you lean into those things more often than the other ones, your body and your mind automatically start to make the neurological and physiological and psychological adjustments necessary in order to perform better. Because guess what? You're an athlete.
Yeah.
You're a performer. You're a musician. You're in combat. You're there for a reason.
Dude, you read my mind. I was going to cut you off and say you're there for
combat.
a reason.
We'll bring it back to... Well, I'm sorry. I thought you meant combat.
No.
Where it's Veterans
Being there
Day,
for a reason. Being there for a reason. Respect that. Understand that. Give yourself a pat on the back. As I prepare for like PT interviews, you have to get ready for questions they might ask you. And one of them, I wasn't asked it, but one of them was, what is a weakness? Or along those lines. And I was thinking about it. I was like, it's tough to really pinpoint a weakness. Then like deep reflection, I was like, you know what? I was relating it to Gabby, like this imposter syndrome. Am I meant to be here? Was this all luck? No, it wasn't. I worked my ass off to get to where I am today. I made an abundance of human connections and relationships to be where I am today. I surrounded myself with the correct individuals.
So much of what you said can be broken down.
Yeah.
and I want to break just one thing down.
Yes, please.
Because it's so, so important. We often think that work is something physical.
No.
We often think that work is something physical, and it's really, and the work that you just said that you did was very self-reflective. It was very personal, interpersonal with yourself and the relationships, right? Inter and intra.
Yeah.
Personal. So I think it's really important for humans to redefine what hard work looks like. Because as much as it's super cool to be in the weight room and lift tons of weight, or be out there doing physical labor and attributing that to hard work, I think it's even more important, the same if not more important, to self-reflect. And that self-reflection, that interpersonal relationship that you create with other people and intra with yourself, right? All of those little things, the daily self-reflections, the daily conversations, the little stuff.
Yeah.
The honestly, dude, I'm not gonna lie, the slowing down of the meal, when you eat slower, that is work. You are intentionally putting yourself in an uncomfortable position in order to stimulate some of those neurological responses that we're not used to every day.
Yeah.
That is work.
And I think I have more respect for that type of work.
100%. It's not talked about.
To work on yourself as a human being, like forget the physical labor like you mentioned, like your communication skills, your listening skills, your critical thinking skills, you know what I mean? Your meditation skills.
Oh my gosh, how did I forget meditation?
You know what I mean? Like that takes effort. Dude. Oh my goodness. Midnight Gospel? Mass.
The Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel.
Netflix.
Yes.
By the way, it's a great show.
It's
I
a great
recommend
watch.
it to
It's a great
everybody.
watch, yeah.
Everybody should watch The Midnight Gospel.
It's intense. It's a show you watch more than once, to be honest. But how easy is it to clear your mind? Answer that question. Someone who isn't skilled in meditation, how easy is it to clear your mind?
Well, isn't skilled in what way? Like doesn't have the education or
doesn't have the practice, doesn't have the education. If you were to tell a random person that has never tried to meditate before, sit down, close your eyes, clear your mind.
Insanely hard.
Insanely hard.
Insanely hard.
Especially
like almost impossible sometimes.
Especially somebody that's up here. What it's called? Introvert?
Introvert, yeah, narrow internal focus.
That, oh my gosh, you read my mind. Yeah. So everything up here.
Narrow, it's a sports psych term.
Yes.
Narrow internal focus.
If you were to close your eyes and try to empty your mind, if anything, in my opinion, you're going to be blasted with emotions and events and experiences. Dude, me, trying to go to sleep at night. Fuming. I just got experience after experience, thought after thought. What am I going to do? How do I fix this? How do I do this? Calm down. Clear your mind. And that takes effort. That takes work. And it's that work that I think is more respectful. Not more respectful, but just as hard as going outside and working 9 to 5 on a hot summer day in a labor position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think definitely respect goes both ways because I've done both and it's equally as tough.
I think the hard part is realizing when to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to like schedule your hour gym time or 2-hour gym time, whatever you do, right? And it's okay to schedule like meetings and things like that. That's tangible. That is so tangible. But you know what's not tangible? To look up in the sky, bro. Like to literally stop where you are, walking or not walking. Just stop and pick up your head. Like look at the sun, look at the sky, observe the clouds, and then look down. Because every time you look up, you should also look down. Remember where you are, right? Then look left, then look right. Take a panoramic view of your surroundings. That can happen for free anytime that you want it to happen.
Yeah.
But because it's not talked about enough, people don't know when they should do it. And so when I walk across our quad and I say, hey, Jimmy, just made up that name. Hey, Jimmy, let's practice some mindfulness real quick because I see you're having a stressed day. I don't actually do this, but let's just say that we were talking about if it,
Yeah, of
random.
course. Yeah.
I would say look up, look down, look left, look right. What's the first word that comes to your mind? And I've done this. I've practiced this on some people. And the most response that I get is okay. And I say, expand on that. And they say, it's okay. And I say, whoa, what do you mean it's okay? And he was like, well, when I looked at the sun, or when I looked down or left and right, I just saw people and nature and things happening around me. And I really didn't stress about everything that was going on in my life. And so the word okay came across my mind because I realized in that moment, despite everything happening, it was okay.
I am still here. I am still here. And that is powerful.
So powerful.
You sent me a quote, or I found the quote by myself, whatever the case may be. Look at a leaf.
Dude, I did this on my walk today.
Look at a leaf and imagine that it's only you and the leaf in this universe. Just you and the leaf. You are still here. Still in this world.
Dude, we're resilient. We're so resilient and we don't even know it. Everything that's come into our lives has left. Relationships, thoughts, people, things have come into our lives. Some stay longer than others. Don't get me wrong, right? Some stay longer than others, and it's hard to not get attached to those things. And they leave.
Yeah.
Right? And this in and out, this flow of in and out, right? It has this therapeutic-like structure to it. It reminds me of water. Bruce Lee talks about water. Be water. What does that mean? It means flow. It means go with the flow. Be the flow.
Accept the flow.
Accept the flow.
Accept the flow.
You know what's so cool about acceptance? There's this sports psych approach, like therapy. It's called the mindfulness, acceptance, commitment therapy.
Oh.
The MAC approach. Guess what?
What?
My professor, Dr. Zella Moore, at Manhattan College, is the co-founder of that therapy.
There's no way.
Yes, she is. She works with the Air Force, other
you mentioned
military.
That. Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, she is incredible, and I don't have a single negative thing to say about her. She is amazing. She teaches her classes incredibly, but to be able to sit in her class, the co-founder with her husband Frank Gardner, amazing two people. She co-founded this approach, and it kind of draws in a lot of surrounding other therapies, and like the acceptance and commitment therapy, right? I think is Stephen Hayes might be the one of that. Don't quote me on that. Whatever. But bringing in all of these different approaches to be mindful of where you are, accept where you are, and not try to change it. Do not try to change it. You commit to yourself. You commit to your own path, your own view, your own perspective, right? You commit to completing an action despite how bad it may be. And that is so powerful. And honestly, I can even try to invite her on and have her talk about it.
Insane.
That would be actually insane, right? Her book, The MAC Approach for Sport Performance Enhancement, it's published in Korean, Chinese, English, obviously, right? But all these different Mandarin, all these different languages around the world, because that's how profound it really is.
Wow.
And what a blessing to sit in her class.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Now, does that approach come with this deep gratitude? Has to.
Oh, yeah. It stems from
an
Eastern philosophical type method, right? By not trying to change the stressor, but acknowledging that the stressor exists in your life, right? We'll just call it a distressor, right? Because we're talking about distress, not eustress. We acknowledge the distressor for what it is. We don't try to change that.
Okay.
We change our relationship with that stressor. So, for example, let's just say I hated cold showers, which I don't anymore, used to, just like everybody else. But I actually enjoy 15-minute cold showers now. That's besides the point. But let's just say I hated it, right? And I got into the shower, and I turned on the cold water, my immediate reaction is to flinch and to run, to turn it off, to go hot, right? That's my immediate reaction.
Physiologically, too.
Physiologically, like our body
yeah.
tells us to do these things. Yeah. Now, if we can separate ourselves from that initial thought of, I have to turn this water warm or else I'm going to be unsafe, right? That initial thought of, I want to run away, if we can let that thought exist, be aware of it, mindfully accept that thought, and commit to a certain action
change your
or
relationship
approach,
with it. Yeah.
change your relationship.
Yes.
And so now the cold is still there. I still feel cold. But the more and more I'm mindful of the cold itself, and I can still exist in my own body and not let that cold affect me. This goes for everything, by the way. Not just cold showers. This goes for relationships, your jobs, everything. If you can acknowledge the situation for what it is and not let that dictate your own behavior and commit to a certain scientific approach, dude, that is a next level. That's a next level mindset of mindfulness.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I'm not one that likes to compare with one another, but if you take a perspective of, there's certain people that can only take cold showers. If they can do it, why can't I?
Why can't you?
There's people that work out 5 days a week. If they can, why can't I? I mean, granted, there's obviously, if there's an underlying condition, you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
There's socioeconomic status,
Yes,
there's genetic factors, race, age, right? There's a ton of things.
But like, if you're capable, it's like, why not me? Why am I so scared of being uncomfortable? Why?
I think we all are.
Yeah.
We still are.
But embrace it. Change your relationship with it.
Yeah.
Understand and accept that I don't like being uncomfortable, but take a step to try to be uncomfortable and see if there's any effects it has on your life. I don't know. It's a crazy thing.
You know what's crazy is that we often forget that like Elon Musk and Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and like all these majorly successful, whether it be business or not, right? Successful people, or what society defines as success. These successful people, we often forget that they're literally still human beings.
Yeah.
That they still wake up every morning and they still have negative thoughts. They still go through certain things, right? Like we're not immortal. We're still human beings. We still have feelings.
Yeah.
We still go through things. But it's the people who can be mindful and accept those things and still choose on a daily basis to act out of moral and principle. Acting out of principle and not preference. Well, I forgot who said that. It was a sports psychologist I saw on Instagram or something like that. We act out of principle and not preference. When we do that, our life actually changes.
Yeah.
For real.
For realsies.
For realsies.
It brings me back to like reacting. There's reacting and then there's another.
There's reacting and there's responding.
Don't react, respond.
Well, no, okay. I have something to say to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's okay to have a reaction. It's okay to let that reaction exist because your body is gonna have that reaction despite what you may think. Like, still not gonna lie to you, bro. I step into the cold shower, I have an immediate bad reaction. But guess what? I respond.
You respond to it.
I respond to my reaction.
You don't let that reaction take over.
Right. So I would say let it happen, acknowledge how powerful and how beautiful that reaction is, and just choose. Just choose.
I'm choosing to take a 10-minute cold shower tonight.
Yeah, I'm also going to choose that.
Can we, there's like a polar plunge thing that comes around every year?
Yeah,
I want to do that.
Of course. Yeah.
I feel like that would be intense.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Yeah, you're looking at someone who's also in.
Say less. Say less. I hate to bring it up, bro. I hate to bring it up.
Do it. What are you going to bring up?
Motivation.
Oh, my boy. Oh boy. Why do I hate that so much, dude?
What is motivation? Why is it a thing?
Motivation is a feeling, and it's a feeling that is absolutely incredible. It is amazing. We need motivation. I am not going to sit here and pretend that motivation is complete bullshit, because it's not. It's not complete bullshit. But we get caught up in a culture that needs motivation in order to function. And that is where I draw a line.
There's an issue with it.
Big issue.
It's an issue. But how do you combat that? Bro, there's so many aspects of motivation. Internal, external. Like, there's theories behind it, and you start for a reward extrinsically. And then that extrinsic motivation changes to internal motivation when you discover that it's like part of your livelihood now, and you love to do it, and it's like you need to do it because it helps you function on a day-to-day basis, and it's like it's so rooted in your life. How do you perceive motivation? What steps should you take?
That's a great question, and I think that it's a lot to unpack. It is.
It's like too much to unpack, bro.
It takes a respect level. I'm being honest. It takes a respect level to understand and appreciate motivation in order to say that motivation sucks, right? And I think that's what I led off with at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, you hate motivation.
I
basically.
hate motivation. Yeah. So I want to take back the word hate, because I don't hate anything. Right, I'm like one
you
of the
strongly dislike.
I strongly dislike.
Okay.
I strongly dislike and profoundly respect motivation. And what I mean by that is this: I think that we get so caught up in needing to feel good in order to act. We get so caught up in needing to feel good, or like that dopamine is kicking in today and I just feel good in order to actually do something with my life. Well, if we keep sitting around and waiting for that time to feel good, guess what? Nothing's gonna ever get done. And some of my best moments, some of my most profound moments have come from not feeling good.
Yeah, when you're not motivated. One of the PTs I worked with always said, if there's a day that you're looking to feel your best, to work out or to tackle a project or something, it's not gonna come. There's always gonna be something. Always. And it's like, even if the motivation is lacking, you still have to break that barrier. You still gotta get after it.
Yeah, Mel Robbins talks about this a lot. Google Mel Robbins if you don't know who she is. She is incredible, by the way. Mel Robbins talks about it, and she says something like, stop waiting. It's not going to come.
Yeah.
If you think that someone is coming for you, you're mistaken. If you think that something is out there for you, you're mistaken. If you think that someone is going to come in here and give you the pat on the back or the kick in the ass that you need to get going, it's not coming. The choice is yours. And I think that's where we have some big self-reflection to do.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people tell us every day that the choice is ours. They try to be empathetic with us and console us and cope with us, right? But it's very rare that you get someone that says, no one's coming,
Tough
bro.
Tough shit.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Life's not easy. Sucks to suck. Figure it out. I hate to say figure it out, but sometimes you need to be told that.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I still don't think I have it figured out. But guess what? I'm damn well on my way. And I guarantee you I'm never going to, quote, figure it out. But it's the dance of getting there that actually makes me think that I'm figuring it out every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's never going to come a point in your life where you can sit down and be like, aha, I figured it out.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it.
Right? Now, you may have some epiphanies, right? Just like I had a couple epiphanies in my life, right? But I feel like we get caught up in thinking that there's going to be a day where we figure it out instead of just enjoying the day that's right in front of us.
Dude, if I could tell you, like, the amount of times I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's no source of motivation. There's nothing going on. But, I do it. I just tackle it. All these interviews and info sessions, all these things. In my mind, before the moment, it's like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm sick. Like, I'm feeling sick. My muscles hurt. My bones feel cold. That's not a feeling a human being should feel. And I have to go do this and put on a performance. And I'll tell you what.
You did it.
I'll tell you what, Zach.
Tell me.
I put on some of my best performances.
Of course you did.
Because I was aware of it. I was honest with myself. Honesty. I was truthful with myself.
What? I want you to go back for a second. What was the honest? What was like the honest truth for yourself? Like the honesty. What would have been the honesty in that situation?
Like, I understand that I'm being lazy right now. I understand that I'm unmotivated.
Mm-hmm.
But grow up.
And the truth kicks in, and you're like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, grow up. Honestly, I could have easily been like, I'll reschedule.
That's what I was asking.
Is that where you were going with
That's
that?
What I was asking.
Yeah, no, I got mixed up with that.
Totally fine.
I have a purpose and a valid reason to reschedule. And that kind of changes your perspective. Like, oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I could reschedule. They offered me to reschedule. But then my truth was like, no. I was aware of it. No, you have no right. You're here for a reason. Take control of your moment.
I want to give the audience a tip.
Yeah.
Because I just want to, say thank you for listening. This is now episode 4.
This is episode 4.
We appreciate you listening up until this point. It's kind of crazy. But I want to give everyone out there a tip that has worked for me whenever I'm feeling like shit. When I feel like shit and I want to rationalize something, I repeat what I think I want to do. Meaning, if I want to reschedule something, I say to myself, oh, I can reschedule it. And then I say it again. Oh, I can reschedule it. Oh, I can reschedule it. Oh, and then it finally clicks like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Or that my best one is this. This is, it always gets me in the morning when I wake up and get out of bed. Because sometimes I just don't want to get out of bed, right? We all are guilty of it. And I think to myself and I say, oh, I want to go back under the covers, right? And I say it again. I want to go back under the covers. I want to go back under the covers. I want to go back under the covers. And my voice actually starts to increase. I actually start waking up. The more and more I talk, the more and more I wake up. Wake up physically, but also wake up psychologically.
Yeah, 100%.
I start waking up psychologically, and I'm reading through the bullshit lines that I tell myself.
I'm going to give the other side.
Please.
Okay? I keep mentioning it, but my bones felt cold.
No pun intended.
Maybe, pun intended. Who knows? But Thursday, chest day, love it. Shoulders, okay. I think to myself, I'm not going to work out today. My body needs the recovery. And I repeated it, not out loud, in my mind, because I was questioning it. I was like, is my ego taking up? Like, am I lying to myself that I feel like shit? I repeated it. I got home from class. I laid down and I was like, no, this isn't my body. Like, this isn't me making a lie so I don't have to work out. I need to take a day off. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't always have to be this, gotta do it. I mean, I hate to talk bad on David Goggins, but you don't always need that mentality. Like, I'm gonna go run 15 miles in a tsunami.
Guy is literally nuts.
Guy is insane. Read his book. Worth it.
Can't Hurt Me.
Is
the book. I know, because I get recommend more books in your podcast. Yeah. I've been getting those. So that's another one. Can't Hurt Me. David Goggins.
Next level. But it's okay. Understand that you are physically sick sometimes. Understand that You might fall into a seasonal depression and might need to take a mental health day. It's okay. Understand it. Then you might fall into a loop of something, and then you need a certain amount of self-awareness and repetition. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing something right? Is this okay? Is this okay? And then you catch the lie, and it's like, no, this isn't okay. I'm lying to myself.
Right.
But sometimes accept that you're sick, or something is just not going to get done in a time frame that you wanted to get done. Take a step back, accept it, and then make a game plan to move forward. Don't get caught up on it. Shit happens. Life happens. Move on. It's so important to be able to just accept and move on sometimes.
There's a filter that lies there, though. You know, there's such a big filter for my side and your side. Both perspectives. There's a filter that lies, and it's so easy to get caught and dragged into one mental health day turns into two.
I said it.
Two turns into
loop.
three, right? You fall into that loop, and now you're watching Netflix eating popcorn at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
When you should be in class.
Yes.
Like, there's a filter that needs to happen, and I think that filter is what? What do you think that filter is? Like, how do you even develop that filter to say, okay, this was needed, now it's time?
In my opinion, it's awareness skills.
How do you build awareness? Because I agree.
Bro, I don't know. I'm not gonna bullshit. Not gonna bullshit. I have no idea. Conversations with you, that just allow me to take a step back, look down, look up, look to the side. Like, I wasn't always aware.
I see.
I get lost in my thoughts sometimes, but it's like there's something back there now that allows me to come back. And I think it is via conversations with you. It might be me watching this podcast if I wasn't the co-host of it. It might be me watching this podcast that allows me to be aware.
We're all watching this podcast, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just doing
with
it live.
With a critical eye, though.
Yeah, I'm just doing it live, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's such a good point. I feel like one of the biggest things that we can do to build self-awareness that has worked for me and might work for a lot of you out there is to have a simple, short conversation with yourself at the end of every day.
Mirror. The mirror.
Mirror. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll be talking a lot about mirrors on this podcast.
Yeah.
Mirrors have changed my life. Being able to reflect and have a conversation with myself out loud in the front of a mirror has changed the game.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'll tell you what, though. Some people can't look themselves in the mirror. I'll tell you that.
100%.
From my experience with body dysmorphia issues, there's some people that just can't. So even if it's not in front of a mirror, just have a conversation with yourself.
Could be in your bed at night.
Could be in your bed.
Or it could just, honestly, it could be...
Could be on a drive.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's a poem that I want to read the audience. And the poem is called... I think it's called Man in the Mirror. Hold on.
You're going to read 2 poems tonight because time is getting cut off soon. And I think it's a good segue for next week. I want you to read What is Love? What was the poem name?
To Love.
To Love. Written by Zach Olivan.
Written by me.
By the way, I want you to read that for the end of the podcast.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course, I would love to.
Thank you.
So, I actually misspoke. The one I'm about to read is called The Man in the Glass.
Okay.
Same concept.
Yeah.
When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, then you go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that man has to say. For it isn't a man's father, mother, or wife whose judgment upon him must pass. The fellow whose verdict counts the most in life is the man staring back from the glass. He's the fellow to please, never mind all the rest, for he's with you clear to the end, and you've passed your most dangerous, difficult test if the man in the glass is your friend. You can fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass, but the final reward will be heartache and tears if you've cheated that man in the glass.
Damn.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
That puts it into perspective.
Huge.
Does that just sum up our entire conversation tonight?
It really does. It really
Fuck.
does.
Like,
yeah.
goosebumps, chills.
Right? Right? Isn't that insane?
Thank you for that. Thank you for remembering that and knowing to say that at this moment.
Of course, man. It's one of my favorite poems. And I love reading it because I live it every day.
It grounds you.
It grounds me. I look back and I have a conversation with myself. And I know that if I've cheated myself, I'm gonna have heartache and tears.
What's time I ran?
Right,
47. What time did we start?
a little after 9.
Yeah. Soon. I don't wanna.
I know. This is a great conversation.
This was a good one today.
Yeah.
I said it, ladies and gentlemen. We're back.
We're back.
needed this.
And we really did need this.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to the upcoming episodes. And for all of you who are looking for the other poem, To Love, we'll read that one at the start of the next podcast.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Thank you for listening. The B.O.N.E.
Yeah.
We talked.
Yeah, we did. You just got a taste of the bone.